You're live, Dan.
Thank you. Welcome to Litter Media Live for this Monday, March 24th of 2025. I thought we were live, but I wasn't real sure.
Well, I pointed at you.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I went like this.
I never saw that. See, I have different glasses. I had to turn my other glasses in because they were replacing the lenses. And so this is like a couple of generations ago. So I have no peripheral vision with these glasses.
I see.
So if you see me driving down the road erratically, that's why. That's why. Do I need to slide to the right?
I think I need to adjust the camera because I adjusted it before the show, but I think I overcorrected.
Gotcha. So we'll probably make that adjustment during the weather.
Yes.
Okay. Coming up in a moment, we'll take a look at news, sports, and this day in history. But first, let's take a look at our forecast for the next couple of days here. It'll be windy today. The winds are supposed to kick up really gusty come around 2 o'clock or so this afternoon. Otherwise, it'll be highs of 55 degrees. There's a chance of rain midday through afternoon tomorrow, a Tuesday high of 52 and otherwise cloudy conditions. Partly sunny and 47 on Wednesday. And if you're heading down to Cincinnati for opening day, starting off with sunshine, increasing cloud cover by the first pitch, about 4:10 in the afternoon. And you want to take a blanket with you because temperatures will be around 50 degrees with that first pitch on Thursday. And it will only get colder as the day wears on.
And we're frozen now.
Hey, look at that. We are frozen like the ice that we see in the background there. All right, coming up in a moment to look at news. But first, let's tell you about Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor. Accurate, of course, finds themselves in the circumstance of they're across southern Ohio, stretching up to central Ohio, all the way over to Dayton, and all the way over to Athens as well, and right down to the Ohio River. They have 8 different offices across this territory, and if you want to find out what they do and how they can help you with your heating, cooling, plumbing, and your comfort in your home, simply click on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com, and it takes you right to their website, accuratehvac.com.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Introducing the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. We want to put your pet in the spotlight. Pets with paws to pets with fins. If they gallop, crawl, or slither, play fetch, or simply curl up and snuggle. Send us a photo of your pet and we'll announce a new pet each week. And one pet will be crowned Pet of the Year. To nominate your pet, visit littermedia.com. Click on Pet of the Week. Tell us about your pet and be sure to include a photo. Watch Litter Media Live each Thursday for the announcement of the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. No purchase necessary.
Contest applications must be from Ohio residents and at least 18 years old.
Haynes Total Healthcare Center, located at 1 Health Drive in Chillicothe, has been handling chiropractic, physical therapy, and nutritional needs for more than 50 years now. They see about 50,000 patients a year, which is incredible. If you want to see the team that they have, you'll find their website link when you click on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com. And then that will take you right to their website, which is HaynesHealth.com.
We're back.
Yes, we are.
And we're still not correct.
Is that right?
You have too much gap.
Too much gap. Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, and you just turned off the camera. But we're back. We're back for a second time. How about that?
There we go.
I'm Dan Ramey. He's Aaron Glandon, our producer, and sometimes he's on doing the show like this when Mike's not or I am not available. And we appreciate your efforts of getting up and going and checking the camera.
Yes.
Nothing like a meeting on the air, so to speak. Can you fix that real quick? You know, that sort of thing.
And I'll do it.
And he has the knowledge and the ability to do it. All right, let's start off with some news and some sad news due to the fact that we lost a very wonderful individual. Former Ross County treasurer and local businessman Felix Melaragno passed away last Thursday in Columbus. He was 95 years old. Felix served 3 full terms as county treasurer, but gained his local claim to fame as the manager of the Big Bear store inside Central Center. He worked there for 35 years, and everybody who worked for him, anybody who knew Felix, came across it, you were a friend of Felix. He seemed to have friends amongst whoever he met. He was active in civic organizations such as well, and calling hours for his funeral will be at Shedinger Northeast Funeral Home in Gahanna, and that's coming up on Friday. So thank you for being you, Felix, and if you had a chance to meet him, Aaron, you'd never forget him. He was that kind of guy.
Even in the picture, he looked like that kind of guy.
Yeah. And what you saw in the picture was who he was.
Yeah.
So hats off to you, Felix, and you did a great job while you were walking this sod.
Upcoming sanitary sewer lining work will impact Marietta Road starting Thursday, March 27th at 6:30 a.m. and continue until completed. Completion is expected to be Friday, April the 11th. Expect lane closures and traffic disruptions on Marietta Road from the road patch just west of the northeast egress to Applebee's, westbound to the back entrance to Applebee's, and along the fence line. Also impacted will be the entrance to Walgreens that will remain open. Also the entrance to Manor Park at the dead-end portion of Cedarwood Drive.
I'm trying to figure if this was part of the work they were doing. Was it last fall? Or maybe it was like in November. They had a lot of line that they were working on right next to Lowe's, right along Marietta Road. And so I haven't seen them do any work since then. So I have a feeling that now that spring is here, they'll get back into that. So that starts this coming Thursday. Up in Circleville, Chief Brian Thompson of the fire department welcomed their new ladder truck on Friday. Ladder 1 is a 2024 Spartan Smule rear mount aerial. It has been a long road for them to get this truck, and so it was a happy day Friday for them. And the build time on this, the spec process, inspections, and in-service training. I know I did a feature on, I think it was Pebble Township received this truck that was to help them with forest fires and wildfires, that sort of thing. And it was fantastic to see it, but it was being built, I think it was out in Kansas. And so they were creating this monstrosity of a truck that was brought over here, and every volunteer fire department individual that was there, it was like Christmas morning for them. Yeah. And to see it in action, they were walking around looking at all the different compartments that they can hide things like axes and that sort of thing. Just it was incredible to see. So I know the folks in Circleville have to be happy about that ladder truck. So congratulations to you.
Athens Schools gave us a glimpse into the future with a 3D model fly around of the new Athens High School building, projected to open in 2027. In this model, you'll see how the new facility will be situated, with the parking lot and field indicating where the current Athens High School stands. Now, this is just a still image that we have on the show, but if you go to their Facebook page, you can see the fly around that we're talking about.
And if you can't find Athens City Schools Facebook page, it's shared in our news feed, so you can just go down through the Litter Media Facebook page and it'll come right to you. In Scioto County, the annual Shawnee Spring Clean Up event is going on all this week, right through March 29th. Bags, gloves, tools, and a serene location in the park or the forest will be supplied. They ask you to come to the park office on State Route 125 in West Portsmouth to pick up supplies and get your location. So if you want to help out, here's your opportunity to do so all week long.
You want to take this one too?
I may as well. The Ohio Department of Transportation has announced that it will create an advanced air mobility division to integrate advanced aviation technologies with transportation technologies on the ground. ODOT Director Pam Boratin, I believe it is, maybe it's Boratin, has selected Robert Tanner as the new AAM Director. AAM is a newly emerging mode of air transportation to move both people and cargo, which requires new aircraft designs, flight technologies, and supporting infrastructure. Instead of traditional airports with long runways for takeoff and landing, new aircraft can take off and land vertically using the vertiport, or a landing pad, which has a much smaller footprint. I saw something like this during the Columbus Air Show back in this would have been the late 80s. And it was amazing to see, and then it wasn't this plane that we were talking about, but it just hovered right up in the air and then took off. It didn't need a runway to do anything.
So it takes off and lands like a helicopter, but it flies like a plane?
Right.
That's pretty cool.
So if you see that in the sky, it's not a UFO.
Right.
And it's not the Litter Media drone. It's something much bigger. And so ODOT is working together with the ground portion of ODOT. And it's going to be a valuable tool, no doubt, for them in their arsenal of vehicles and everything that they have.
Speaking of UFOs, we don't use that term anymore?
Correct.
UAPs, right?
Did you say UAP?
I think so.
I don't know that I've heard that.
I'm pretty sure that's the new terminology.
So
I'll look it up during the break.
What does that stand for in your?
I don't remember.
Unidentified flying purpose?
Well, there's no F.
Porpoise?
I don't know.
He'll find out.
I'll find out.
He'll do a Google search. In our road report for you today, we go to Fayette County, State Route 41. Pipe replacement between Carr Road and Jupiter Street will close starting next Monday, March 31st through Friday, April 4th. And they'll be doing pipe replacement there, just like what we said earlier. Now, the detour is State Route 729 to State Route 435 over to I-71 back to State Route 41. Did you find the answer?
I did. UAP stands for Unidentified Aerial or Anomalous Phenomenon.
UAP.
Yes,
Okay.
that's what I said.
I thought you said earlier UFP.
No, I said UAP.
Okay.
It's preferred over UFO or unidentified flying object. Assertions have been made that people associate UFO with alien visitors, where UAP can be more readily associated with additional phenomena.
Didn't realize they were so sensitive.
People don't want people to get panicked about aliens, I guess.
We're not part of the alien group. Okay. We can blame probably 1950s movies. And I think the government came up with UFO as an acronym for what they were seeing before, and they couldn't. It's kind of like what we see flying behind it. Now, that's Canadian geese. We saw that. It has an actual name. Coming up, a look at sports. The road came to a close for a couple of OSU teams, and there was a nice little reunion out in Bainbridge. We'll explain coming up in just a moment. Scioto Valley Dumpsters, give them a call at 740-253-8389. If you have need for a dumpster, they can provide one for you. Whether it's your residence or your business, they can take care of it all. And in some instances, they can even do cleanup jobs for you. Find out more details when you click on this ad anywhere you see it. On littermedia.com, it takes you to their Facebook page where you can learn more about Scioto Valley Dumpsters.
Each week, we'll announce the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And in December, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Nominate any amateur athlete by visiting littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. You'll also see the players we've named throughout the year. Make your nomination today for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union.
I'm a busy woman, and I'm not ready to slow down. Tiffany's hip pain was interfering with her career and active lifestyle until she came to the Adina Orthopedic and Spine Institute.
Dr. Meshbach told me about same-day surgery. I said, I want it now, and I wanted it yesterday.
After a successful procedure, Tiffany was home the very same day and on her way back to enjoying the community she calls home. At Adina, we do what we love, so you can too.
As a professional race car driver, I live for speed, power, and performance, on and off the track. That's why I use the Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower. Race into your local dealership today and test drive a new Dixie Chopper.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today.
Welcome back in time for sports, and we start with Litter Media's Mike Smith. We had him working on a Saturday. He took a stroll down memory lane Saturday and visiting with the 1995 Paint Valley Baseball State Championship squad. Mike and BJ Daly were on hand for the play-by-play of that Bearcat State title run, that tournament season. Mike spoke with All-Ohioan Jason Stauffer and then assistant coach Chris Medved about their special team.
Jason Stauffer, when you think back 30 years, what do you think, from a player's perspective, made this team so special?
I think talent-wise, I'm not going to say we were the most talented in the state, but I think belief-wise, I think every person on that team, no matter what happened during the game, whether it was an error or whether we were in the lead, everyone had a full belief that their teammate was going to then pick them up and do something great next. There was never a point to where we put our heads down to where we thought that we would beat. We probably had more confidence than maybe we should have at times, but as a team, I knew, especially on the pitcher's mound, I knew that no matter if there was a mistake made or not, that they had my back and that they were going to do everything they could to help me, and I was going to do everything I could to help them, and nobody wanted to be that guy that let the team down.
You can see and hear more of that conversation on our Facebook page, and I don't know if it's been transferred over to our YouTube channel just as yet, but you'll be able to find it for sure on our Facebook page. It last night had like more than 6,000 views. So a lot of people showing interest in the Paint Valley baseball, and the softball teams also were honored as well. Our softball scores and baseball scores started filing in this past Saturday, the first day of regular season action. Chillicothe picked up an opening win over Jonathan Alder, 6-3. Adina takes a doubleheader from Fairland. And Logan Elm picked up a win, along with Piketon taking a doubleheader. Look at those scores, 16-3 and 25-0. Whew.
Wow.
Jackson, a winner over Waverly. Hillsboro sweeps Portsmouth and Sims Valley. Notre Dame picked up a win, along with Philo, Wilmington, Hartley, Bern Union, and Crooksville took Fisher Catholic in a doubleheader as well. That's all softball. Do you have baseball for us, too?
That was the image Mike sent me.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
So you can find all of those details when you log on to littermedia.com and take a look. Our weekend state basketball finals showing that, I know why there weren't baseball scores. Baseball doesn't open until this Saturday.
You're right.
That's why. Louisville, a winner over Cincinnati-Aiken in the D3 championship on Friday. Zanesville-Maysville, this was an exciting ball game. I was listening to it as I got into the car heading home Friday, and when I got in the car, Maysville was down 7 points. They not only caught up with them, they went on I think it was a 12-2 run to close out the game.
Wow.
And win it. So our friends, David Hilliard, who used to work with us at iHeartMedia from Hillsboro, he is doing the play-by-play over in Zanesville now for Maysville. So it was fantastic. Congratulations to Maysville with their championship.
That game kind of sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. Zanesville, Maysville over Cleveland, Glenville.
Right. I didn't pay attention to that, too. First state title for the Westerville North Warriors of the Ohio Capital Conference. That was in the D2 game, defeating Massillon Perry. And Saturday's contest for you, Division 5, Lutheran East took Columbus Academy. Monroe Central, I think they ended the season for Eastern, if I'm not mistaken, taking the D6 championship over Marion Local. Rusa, a winner over Cornerstone Christian, 74-57. And for those of you that have been longtime Cavalier fans, Olentangy Orange, coached by the former Westerville South head coach, Ed Kalo, his son was coaching Orange to a state championship over Reynoldsburg, which was coached by Mount Vernon's former coach, his son, Andy Moore. So if you are a Cavalier fan from the 1980s and into the 90s, you were familiar with Ed Kalo and I think it was Mike Moore, if I remember correctly, was the head coach at Mount Vernon when Chillicothe was playing them on a regular basis. And so both of their sons meet in a state championship game.
That's cool.
That was pretty cool. So congratulations to Coach Kalo there. NCAA update for you. Of course, this happened Friday evening late. Liberty University had their season come to a close, falling to Oregon. Oregon jumped out to an 18-2 lead, and they just could not catch up. Javon Moffmer had a couple of nice backdoor cuts for layups. He made a free throw, which has been a difficulty for him this year, but then he had a fantastic, spectacular dunk as well in this contest. But his college basketball career comes to a close in an 81-52 loss to Oregon. The Cleveland Cavaliers are back on the winning track, a 120-91 win over the Jazz. The Cavs travel to Portland to face the Trailblazers tomorrow night. The OSU women fell to rival Wisconsin in the NCAA Hockey National Championship, this in overtime, 4-3. Of course, the OSU women were the defending national champions, and here they finish as runners-up. The Buckeyes had a 3-1 lead in the third period, but here came Wisconsin. They tied it up and won it in overtime. Tennessee knocked OSU out of the NCAA women's basketball tournament. The Buckeyes were down by 14 points. They rallied to take a 57-56 lead in the third quarter, but then the Lady Vols went on a bit of a run again, and in the fourth period put the game away, 82-67. The Blue Jackets suffered their sixth consecutive loss. Their playoff hopes are still, they're not mathematically eliminated, but they got to get back on the winning track.
Not looking good.
Yeah, or else they'll be sitting outside watching everyone else in the playoffs. 6-3 the final, and they will face the Islanders tonight. And I think that is here in Columbus. I believe it's a home game. All right, just ahead, this date in history, the Litter Media Wayback Machine is dialed back to 100 years before I was born. 1862.
Oh, my bad.
Slap yourself on the wrist there. But first, let's tell you about
Litter Quality Propane. 92 years of serving propane users in southern and central Ohio. Reliable supply, reliable service, reliable people.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When insuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
Life. It can get on top of you quickly, can't it? But with 211, it only takes one step to get connected to the help you need. 211 is always available to help. So get in touch today.
You need to head out to Eastern Avenue here in Chillicothe, specifically speaking to 818 Eastern Avenue, because that's where Hometown Motors Incorporated is. Their spring sales event continues this week. And if you are in the market for new blowers, trimmers, walk-behinds, zero-turn mowers, riding tractors. They've got all that, and prices are marked down. $1699.99 for new riding tractors. New zero-turn mowers starting at $3399.99. A walk-behind push mower, as we knew them as.
Only one I've ever used.
Is that right? $399.99. Also, new chainsaws. You ever used a chainsaw?
Nope.
You need to get out there and learn how to do that. $279.99. New blowers. You ever used a leaf blower? $199.99. And new trimmers starting at $229.99. I know you've trimmed your beard, so I know you use trimmers.
Well, I also used trimmers on the trails when I worked for the Parks District.
Gotcha. And they never let you use a chainsaw?
No, because I didn't have a certification.
You have to be certified.
There was a guy on our team that had a chainsaw certification. They let him do it, but they wouldn't let me do it.
It's good to be certified.
They did let me use a machete one time.
But if you buy your own, you don't have to worry about being certified. And you can get one on sale now at Hometown Motors Incorporated. Hurry in to get the best selection because they're not going to last at the prices like this. Hometown Motors, your store for the outdoors. 818 Eastern Avenue, Chillicothe. This date in history, we turn back to 1862. Abolitionist orator Wendell Phillips is booed while attempting to give a lecture in Cincinnati, Ohio. The angry crowd was opposed to fighting for the freedom of enslaved people, as Phillips advocated. He was pelted with rocks and eggs. I wonder why it was rocks and eggs.
I don't know.
Before friends whisked him away when a small riot broke out. Phillips was one of the most outspoken abolitionists of the era. The March 1862 incident in Cincinnati demonstrated the fierce resistance that existed in the northern states to the proposition of fighting a war to free the enslaved people. The most outspoken resistors lived in the Butternut region. That's the southern parts of Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois. Called butternuts because their homespun clothing was dyed a light brown from the nut extracts. Residents of the region did not own enslaved people, but shared many sentiments with Southerners. Lincoln, speaking of Abraham Lincoln, encountered serious resistance from this same area when he announced his Emancipation Proclamation back in 1863. And, of course, we know that the American Civil War then helped decide freeing those people. So it's always difficult to look back on those days and see brother fighting against brother, is what the Civil War was.
Yeah.
And to see the lives lost and why it took so long to buy freedom for these folks through a war. If you've never been to the David Nickens Heritage Center, you need to stop in and see that because it has they've done a fantastic job of documenting life for African American people and people of color here in the Chillicothe area during the time. And I know seeing some school kids go through, they're kind of shocked at seeing like the shackles. Yeah. They have that on display, and perhaps one of the more vivid pictures are people who have been stacked upon each other in these ships brought over from Africa to America. Just not a good time in the history of our people here stateside. But happy to know they've gained freedom, and for the last 150 years or so, thereabouts, we still have racial issues that we continue to fight on a regular basis. But
I mean, segregation ended in the 60s.
Yeah.
So 100 years after this.
Right. So, it could have moved along faster, I think.
Yeah.
But there's no way we can go back and change time. All we can change is what happens from here and on into the future. So, all right, coming up tomorrow, we have a visit from Mayor Luke Feeney stopping in to give us an update on, no doubt, what was discussed at City Council at some point in time. Can't remember if he's going to be giving a review of this evening's meetings or if it is from the week prior. But I know that this is an off date that Mike had scheduled with the mayor because he had another obligation last week, or else he would have been here last week. So the mayor in tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, and then we'll jump into this regular program again that we do on a regular basis every Monday through Friday, except for holidays, because we take those days off.
Certain holidays.
Certain holidays. Well, specific holidays like Christmas and so on and so forth.
Right.
4th of July, those big holidays. Thank you for watching today. We're back at it again tomorrow, 10 o'clock, and you'll be able to hear it as well live on Litter Media Radio. Thanks for listening today if you're on radio, and if you've been watching here on YouTube and Facebook, thanks for joining us.